This conversation is going to go one of two ways. You're either going to think I'm a genius, or you're going to think that I'm off my rocker. And I do expect fully a combination of those sentiments coming in after this little video. But I decided to try something I've never heard of in my life, and I think it's absolute pure genius, and I think it could walk this team that I drafted here in this expert league I'm about to show you into a championship, but also walk some of you into a fantasy football championship. And the idea, the concept is streaming the top 3 defenses in fantasy football. You heard me correct. Streaming defenses, but streaming the top 3 defenses in fantasy football. And it's crazy. And the fantasy football show begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show.
Now, this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, ruffle some feathers, and that's completely understandable. But in this expert draft that I drafted the other night, super flex draft, where I was the defending champion going into this draft, might I remind you. So let's put some respect on the little strategy I got deploying here when I'm walking in with my crown on. And I took a little heat in this draft for doing what I did, but I think it's pure genius. I took the top 3 defenses, and I did so after I already built up this absolute conglomerate of a team right here. I took Fields in the Superflex at the 1.8. I took Garrett Wilson at 2.5, Breece Hall at 3.8, Deebo Samuel 4.5, Kenneth Walker 5.8, cuffing him to Charbonnet at 9.8. I took Jordan Love at 6.5 as my second quarterback,
my secret weapon
player to draft in round 6 if you can, 5 if you have to in Superflex in 2023. Swift, Dotson, Ingram, great late tight end grab right there. Jerick McKinnon, Dobbs, and I'm loaded at this point. I'm feeling great. I feel like nothing's gonna hold me back at this point. And then I get to this next pick here in round 13, and I said to myself, right here, round 13, I said to myself,
Smitty, what if you took...
Yeah, you can see it right there creeping up. What if you took the top defense right here? No one's expecting it coming. There's Gainwell's on the board, Bateman's on the board. I don't care about those guys. Not disrespecting those players, not saying I wouldn't consume those type of players on my bench, but when I look down and see Tank Dell way below, who I didn't get, I got sniped on it, but the point is there are players down below underneath where I'm going to take these defenses that I like just as much as the players right here. What harm is it to jump ahead of the curve here and grab not only the top defense in the 49ers at 13.8 or whoever your top defense is? I got them all anyway. The Eagles at 14.5 and the Dallas Cowboys at 15.8. Then I returned to normal draft mode. I took Hyatt, I took Zay Jones, I took Justin Ross. This right here is one of the most exciting draft approaches I think I've had in a while in terms of something outside of the box, something not in the top 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds in terms of strategy. This right here feels like a league winner, and it's gonna ruffle so many feathers. It's going against the grain of everything you've ever been brainwashed and taught by the fantasy football pages and shows out there. Nobody's talking about this because it seems crazy, okay? But I'm streaming defenses like a lot of you do anyway, and some people win leagues based on streaming defenses. Streaming defenses is an amazing approach in fantasy football if you know what you're doing and you have the patience and time to do it. But streaming defenses with the top 3 defenses is a genius move. And I'm going to have a cupcake matchup with one of these defenses pretty much every single week. There'll be a very glaring opportunity right in front of my face each and every week. There will always be some sort of advantageous matchup for me. And when you really look at it and you say the Niners are projected for, let's say, 130 points, the Eagles 130, the Cowboys 130, somewhere around that territory depending on your scoring. And you take a look at that number and you say, okay, what's 130 divided by 17? Well, that's
7.6.
Even if we put it at like 9 points per game, even 10 times 17, 170. 170 points for a defense scoring 10 points a game. Who here, raise your hand, I won't get mad if you don't agree, who here doesn't think I could stream and get even 15 points per game? Doing a little matchup poo contest every week. 15 times 17 is 255, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about scoring 255 points a game. We're talking about scoring 255 points. I believe in a worst case scenario. I think streaming the Niners, the Eagles, the Cowboys as my defense Based on cupcake matchups that I'm going to have almost weekly, at least for one of those teams, that's 255 points, and I don't think I'm going to get it wrong very often. And when I do, I'm still scoring boatloads of points. I'm scoring easily 10, 11 points, I think, even when I get it wrong, when I get the second highest scoring of the three. But imagine if I end up getting something more along the lines of 18 points per game times 17. If I really smash it, I could go from 130 to 140. We'll even call this like baseline. Let's say the Niners by themselves score 145 in most scoring formats. Let's shoot high so we're not like trying to give ourselves this like very, very nice looking picture when it might be different. 145 points. Let's say the Eagles or the Niners or the Cowboys score 145 points in your scoring format. If I rotate this out properly, where you can easily get 20 points a game from a defense if you pick it right, and I've got these three, just scoring 18 points a game, not 20, 18 points a game would be 306. I honestly believe you're doubling your defensive points. You're scoring as many points as Jalen Hurts is projected for 376 in this exact scoring format I'm looking at. Jamar Chase projected for 319 points in this format. My defense, according to my calculations, even if I don't hit every single week grabbing the top of the three, but I smash a bunch of 20-point weeks in the process and hit at least an average of 10, 11, 12, 13, rotating out, I'm looking at 300 plus fantasy points for my defensive slot instead of what would be 145 with one of these guys. 145. 140, 150, even 160 in a best case scenario, or 120 in a worst case scenario, I would get by having one of these defenses. According to my calculations, $300 plus points is what I'm getting. I'm more than doubling my defensive scoring slot, and I'm gonna win leagues, and so can you. Try it out. Make sure you're feeling it out. Make sure it feels right for your league, where you're at, the flow of your draft. Let people laugh you out of the room. People laugh us out of the room all the time. People laughed at us when we said Jalen Hurts, this man right here, was gonna be a top 1 to 5 quarterback. People said that was stupid. People said the same thing about Jalen Hurts. People are saying the same thing about our Justin Fields and all the players we love this year. They've been saying about Garrett Wilson. Now everybody's on the Garrett Wilson train. They've been saying it about Bijan being the running back 1. That's stupid, Smitty. Now everybody loves it. This is just par for the course. And this strategy right here, this team I drafted in this Superflex draft, 2023 Expert League Superflex draft, Fields, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Debo Walker, Jordan Love, Swift, Dotson, Charbonnet, Ingram, McKinnon, Dobbs, and the 3 best defenses that anybody's ever had. The 3 best defenses that anybody's ever had. Go do it live.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show.